And seeing, Mobley's developing, they're figuring out, as you said, Garland and Mitchell really kind of not just figuring it out, but thriving together. Obviously, Coach Atkins, what he's done with this team. So it's exciting to see sort of where they are, but the fact that they were patient. Now I think it's, they're reaping the rewards of that patience, and it's paying off.
The Cleveland Cavaliers have set a franchise record for the most wins to start out a season. And Kenny Atkinson has this team clicking on all cylinders. It really has been something to watch. It's not often you see a team as bought in as this group of guys are. When you as a head coach can get players to sacrifice and play less minutes and get less stats for the benefit of a team, that is when you can see those special runs. Because it's hard to get that to happen in today's NBA where stats equal more money. This win over the Pelicans really showcased the Cavs' toughness. They were getting absolutely no calls from the refs, which I'm going to get into later, and this was a big win for Kenny Atkinson. I know he's not really the type of guy to care about personal accolades, but a 9-0 start is just something that doesn't happen for a new coach coming into a brand new team. His schemes are working, his rotations are working, he's been able to navigate through games where most of his bench is hurt, and he seems to have found the balance of being friends with the players, knowing when to be hard on them, and knowing when to lift them up. And even though obviously adversity and tough tests will be coming up at some point in the future, let's just take this time to break down and enjoy this success. But before we begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe we can get there super fast. Alright, so let's break down the win over the Pelicans. The Cavs got off to a hot start, hitting a couple of early shots, but the Pels battled back and established a pretty solid lead for the majority of the first half. But Tai Jerome came in and really settled everyone down. He has been the big X factor coming off that bench for the early part of this season. And I mean, if he keeps it up, he will be in the 6th Man of the Year race. He's really been that good. But his partner off the bench in Caris LeVert will also be in that race, because he has been incredible as well. I really don't want to compare the two. They have both been big sparks, and when LeVert was out, Jerome really stepped up, taking on more minutes. This was one of those games where the stat sheet looked beautiful up and down for the Cavs. No specific player stood out. Like over 5 or 6 guys were in double digits. Mobley and Allen were outstanding defensively, and again, this is just a winning version of basketball. I hate to say it, but JB Bickerstaff is kind of looking like a bum right now. His slow offense and bad rotations were really holding this team back. The fact that he had Sam Merrill as a reserve was embarrassing. He never allowed Garland to regain his confidence, and he was asking Donovan Mitchell to really carry the team on his back. And it's not that he can't do that, but plugging him into this offense just feels so much more natural. And he's not completely out of gas late in the 4th trying to close out a game. And part of that again is due to depth. I know I don't talk a lot about Georges Niang. Sometimes when he's cold he can be a bum, but he really is taxing his body and putting up a lot of minutes on the court to hold things together when there's injuries. And in terms of basketball, in this win over the Pelicans, he was really solid with 9 points. And the thing that stood out to me the most was he hit only 1 3. Majority of his damage was done inside. He's really tried to play like an enforcer, and that mentality has helped him stand strong on defense, because last year he definitely was a weak link that often got exposed. But yeah, with Dean Wade being out, he has really given the team a lot of minutes and some strong performances. And then Tai Jerome, I know I already mentioned him, but let's take a deep dive and get into some game film of just how good he has been. So right here, out in transition, off a Mobley rebound, Jerome gets the ball a few steps over the half-court line. Since his IQ is through the roof and he is seeing the court really well right now, he without any hesitation passes up the cutting Mobley, and at first glance, everyone thought it would be Mitchell. But it was actually the third option in a cutting Georges Niang. And with that, the defense was completely scrambling, which set up the free lob for Evan. Next here, Mitchell has the ball up top. Tai moved left to space the floor, and when he got the ball, he pump faked and got the defender to bite. And then he drove in towards the basket, and with Mobley inside, Jose Alvarado had to stay attached, and the cutting Porter had an easy reverse layup. Beautiful basketball, beautiful ball movement, and it all started from the pump fake. And then last but not least, when Tai Jerome is playing this kind of basketball, the Cavs are lights out. He's not really known as a spot-up shooter, but he certainly has the range, especially with the confidence he's playing with right now. So first with the ball, he surveys the floor. You can tell the D thinks he's in pass mode, so they leave him room underneath the Mobley screen. And as Chris Smoove says, why not let it fly? You could tell it was going in right off his hands just from the pure confidence he shot this ball with. And because the Cavs have been making their open outside shots this season, defenses have had to adjust, which has really opened up the paint for Mobley and Allen to dominate inside. Alright, now moving on, let's talk Donovan Mitchell, because man oh man, he's been Mr. Clutch late in games. And part of it, as I talked about, is because Kenny Atkinson is actually giving him a proper and fair workload. Maybe it's tanking his stats a little bit, but honestly, throughout a season, a 30-minute per game Mitchell that is less worn out will probably put up the same amount of production as a tired 35 minutes per game Mitchell. And then he will be ready to go with fresh legs come playoff time. And as for what I now call his partner in crime, Darius Garland, same type of deal. Kenny Atkinson has almost based his minutes based on if he's in a rhythm early or not, because you can kind of tell what type of day he's going to have based on the first 5 minutes he is in the game. So on nights where he's cold from the field, you can let Isaac Okoro have a little more action to add some defense to the lineup, and then when he's red hot like he was against the Bucks, you can play him close to 40 minutes. It all just depends, and I think the Cavs really have something great going on here. This game really was a tough mental grind on the road. This was one the Cavs were favored to win, but I mean, they were 8-0. They had to travel, the Pelicans got off to an early lead, they couldn't get a call from the refs. This had the makings of the Cavs' first loss. But once again, they just showed resilience and had one of the best third quarters from start to finish that you will ever see, and it completely flipped the momentum of the game. Here's what some of the guys had to say in their post-game interview.
So they shot the heck out of it, but we're shooting the ball great. I mean, that's part of this 9-0, right? We are shooting the ball great. But what I like about it, I thought we were sharing it. I thought we played really unselfishly, made the extra pass, and it starts with your leaders. Those guys, Donovan, Darius, Evan, J.A. They share the ball. That's what helps get our role players going. So. Really good.
Tonight, you guys officially set a new franchise record for best start in a Cavaliers season at 9-0. Look, I know that your sights are set on bigger things. Right. But can you take a moment just to reflect that you guys have done that?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys celebrate in this league. Something like that, an accomplishment like that is tough to do. So I think you can take a step back just for a moment just to appreciate how far we've come and how good we started the season. Just celebrate the small things.
The upcoming test against the Warriors really is going to be something. It's going to be a matchup between two teams with one combined loss. The Warriors just beat the former champs in the Boston Celtics, and already just from doing a little bit of scrolling, Warriors fans are pretty confident that they will come in and beat the Cavs. So in terms of real adversity, this is the first time we really could see this team put to the test. But I really do think the Cavs match up well with the current roster the Warriors have. You put Isaac on Curry, you let him get his 40 points, and you lock down everyone else and really pay attention to Buddy Hield. It will sort of be the same type of situation as Monday against Dame, but just an even better player and shooter. I think the Cavs will need dominant nights from the bigs to win. I think this could be a game where Jared Allen has 18 and 10 and Mobley has 25 and 10. I think the guards are going to use a lot of their energy on defense, keeping up with the movement of Curry and the ball movement of Steve Kerr's offense. It's going to be the bigs who have to take over. Overall, this is a very fun time to be a Cavs fan. Now, at the time of this recording, the Thunder have officially lost to the Denver Nuggets, so the Cavs are now the only remaining undefeated team. It really is something, and they are showing no signs of slowing down. That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.